Yes Have Some Podcast is brought to you by Carnivorous Creations. Our good friend Mike Nelson has been making these incredible Ghostbusters props for a very long time. We've been talking about it for a long time. In fact, if you've been paying attention, you would know that I just got my brand new Proton Pack delivered to me at DragonCon. There's a video up on YouTube. You can see the pictures on Instagram. It is a one-of-a-kind. I'm telling you, this is the best Proton Pack I've ever owned. It's the best Proton Pack I'm ever going to own. And Mike was super cool. He was very communicative. He talked to me. He asked me questions. I personally had the best experience I've ever had getting a prop built for me because let's face it, these things are special. There's a lot of detail. We're picky, us collectors, us movie fans. We want the good stuff, and Carnivorous Creations delivers. Now, he not only does Ghostbusters Proton Packs and Proton Pack parts, he's getting into Ninja Turtles weapons coming later this year. He's got amazing prop displays, custom displays for your prop replicas. These things are huge. It's hard sometimes. You don't know even how to put it on a shelf. Mike at Carnivorous Creations is going to help you get your collection where you need it to be. So, check out carnivorouscreations.com. That's carnivorous with a K. You can also find them at Carnivorous Creations on Instagram and Facebook. Tell them Yes Have Some Podcast sent you and get yourself into a brand new Ghostbusters Proton Pack.
I don't want to grow up bomb. Do you want some?
Jurassic Park. Now playing the PS7.
Ecto goggles with Ecto Bomber, neutron blaster, and water zapper, each sold separately.
From the corner penthouse of Spook Central all the way to Star Killer Base, this is Yes Have Some Podcast.
Do I? Yes, have some. Yes, have some.
You know, they told me you people were conceited douchebags.
The only place in the multiverse where you can love the book, hate the movie, but still buy all the toys.
I'm afraid you're just too darn loud.
I'm not looking for a friend. I'm looking for a Jedi Master.
Please remember to hold on to your butts and get ready to get stressed. With your hosts, Craig Goldberg, Abigail Gardner, and Jacob Walsh.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to a very special edition of Yes Have Some Podcast. I don't even know where to begin, but today was a very big day in our worlds, in the world of Ghostbusters. I don't know. Did anything happen? What'd you guys do today?
I woke up early with a sense of purpose. Sorry, Jake.
I guess we're putting that Twister musical on hold.
Yeah, I guess there's other things to talk about.
Yeah.
So this morning, there had been a lot of anticipation this week about a possible trailer release, and we were waiting, right? Pins and needles.
Yeah.
I know I was.
Yeah.
But this morning about this afternoon, 12 o'clock Eastern, Vanity Fair ran the article, the very first look at Ghostbusters Afterlife. Let's talk about that first. Let's break this down. By the way, hi everybody. I didn't do our normal introductions.
Yeah, take a second.
No, I want to get into it.
Yeah, I understand.
Abby, how are you?
I'm good, thanks.
All right, Jake, I know you're good. You're fine. Jake's fine.
Are you?
Thanks. I'm great.
I think he's great.
I'm concerned about Jake. How are you?
I'm good.
So, the first information, the first official look at what is going to be coming. So we found out the trailer is going to drop Monday. So we've got a couple days, but we wanted to take a few minutes to just kind of my head is full. I need to get this stuff out of my head. I need to talk to you people. Mm-hmm. And Jake, I'm sure you're sick of me calling you. I've called you like 15 times
I
today.
feel like this episode...
Hold on. Hold on. Well, first of all, Craig called me while I was still in bed this morning.
I did. I really did.
8 o'clock in the morning, my alarm had just gone off.
Yep.
I had been up for maybe 5 minutes, and Craig called me like a little schoolgirl.
Yeah. And I was like, do you think anything's going to happen?
What are you wearing today?
Do you think anything's going to happen today? Is today the day? And Jake was like, I don't know. And so I don't know. We all kind of had that feeling, right? Like the build-up's been coming. We knew something was in the pipeline. We know Jumanji's coming out next week.
Pipeline.
So a lot of people were thinking maybe the trailer was going to drop today, but we did get that information. The Vanity Fair article. First of all, let's just get this out of the way. The title of the movie has been confirmed. Ghostbusters Afterlife. That is the name of the movie. We've talked about it fairly extensively already. Abby, did you have any initial thoughts on that part of the reveal?
I've accepted it at this point. And I like that title. I don't dislike it Yeah, it was confirmation of something that we had seen and speculated, and it was heavily rumored. So it wasn't a surprise or a shock or upsetting to me. I like it. I'm down. I'm here for it.
I think once you start reading the context of the article, the Vanity Fair article, it kind of starts shedding some light into some of the plot points that we've been thinking about. But
I think a little too much.
Yeah, it actually...
I kind of like, I've read it a couple times, and I feel like I keep seeing... So when it first popped up, I read it so quick, but I read it, but I was immediately like drawn to the pictures. But I've read it so many times today, but I keep almost like seeing things where I'm like, oh, did I just gloss over this whole other plot point we have here? Like I somehow completely missed the whole thing about the mine the first time I read it, and I'm like, oh, this is the entire plot.
I didn't even think. I'm gonna have to read it again.
That's what Logan Kim and McKenna Grace are exploring. That's where there's activity.
But it says like it's more than just that. It says strange rumblings from a nearby mine. Venturing closer to it, an abandoned and dangerous place. I'm like, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ivan Reitman kind of hinted at some of that stuff a couple months ago. We do know that he revealed Paul Rudd. What's Paul Rudd's character's name? Mr.
God,
I keep wanting to say MacGruber.
No,
it's
the best Gruberson. It's literally the best name I've ever heard.
Dude, I can't wait to get a patch that says Gruberson on it. Hey, maybe I'll get a patch. Maybe I'll get a Ghostbusters patch. That's my Paul Rudd impression.
I like it.
Guys, I am fired up. I've had so much caffeine. So listen. The Vanity Fair article drops, Ghostbusters Afterlife. Right off the bat, we know the trailer's coming Monday. I do want to make this announcement. Monday night, 9:00 Eastern, join Yes Have Some Podcast for what we are calling the Ghostbusters trailer reaction party. We're not going to make a reaction video. We're going to have a reaction party. We're going to be live streaming on Facebook and YouTube, 9:00 until ? Live chat, live calls, friends calling in. Let's bring this community together. It's going to be amazing. So mark your calendars, 9:00 Eastern. So that'll be 6 p.m. West Coast time. But we're going to have a lot of fun on Monday. But that will be to talk about the trailer. This article is full of so much information. We felt we got to get on, put out an episode tonight.
This episode is mostly for the three of us to actually talk it all out. We would have had this conversation anyway on the phone.
So Vanity Fair puts out the article, Afterlife, first plot details. It feels like what they're doing is, it did reveal more than I was thinking, but it feels like this was their way of like, let's get the information out on the kind of the basis of who these characters are a little bit. Kind of like a little precursor to the trailer. Like, hey, we know it's a single mom, Carrie Coon. She's got her 2 kids. They move back to the small town. There's mysterious things happening. Paul Rudd's a teacher there. The first thing that caught my eye when I saw this article, and I'm going to throw it to you guys, Paul Rudd, front of the classroom, holding a ghost trap. Jake?
That was the first thing I saw.
What was your reaction here?
I mean, I think that's a great first thing to see. Like the first image you see is literally, something you're familiar with. So it's like, first of all, it's weird because we're getting, the first sequel to the original 2 Ghostbusters in a very long time. So it's like you have Paul Rudd, who wasn't a big it's weird seeing, I don't want to call him a new actor, but he's big now. And everybody knows Paul Rudd. Everybody loves Paul Rudd. So it's weird to see like that newness holding like an original ghost trap. It just feels weird and new, and it's its own thing, and not weird in a bad way. Like, it's just like, look at that. It's a ghost trap.
Yeah.
It is a ghost trap. I was really excited. And like Jake said, Mr. Gruberson is the greatest name of all time. Abby, let me ask you this. We've been following this franchise for a very long time. How does this picture of Paul Rudd holding the ghost trap in front of the classroom compare to the first image you saw from Answer the Call?
I honestly can't compare the two. The feeling that I have looking at this picture is a complete satisfaction. I think literally when I saw this picture, I ran into my Serenity room and I started hitting my punching bag and screaming because I was so excited. It's really cool to see the ghost trap, which is something that's very familiar. It's also really cool to see Paul Rudd looking confused in his classroom. The details inside the article said that he was part of the original events of Ghostbusters, the things that happened in New York. So it's
Oh, that's like the best part.
Yeah.
Like they reveal,
like he's probably it's like he's one of those like coast to coast radio listening, like believes it and other people maybe don't kind of.
well,
things.
like in the article, I guess in universe they're going to be referring to the events of Ghostbusters as the Manhattan Cross Rip, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like this big event that's kind of like faded over time, but like Paul Rudd experienced it.
Yeah.
And maybe like that's all we really know, but that's really cool. Like
it's all we know so far. And the other thing that I thought when I saw this is that we're going to see Paul Rudd giving the Mac and Me trailer on Conan.
Oh yeah.
Instead of the Ghostbusters trailer at some point.
That's definitely happening.
And just the fact that Paul Rudd is obviously like such a funny person and a relatable and likable. I'm really excited to have him on the team. And
I don't think there's many actors who you could really plug directly into the vein of Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, and Ernie Hudson. Paul Rudd fits that mold to me. Like, we don't know if he ends up being a Ghostbuster or whatever, but like, to me, he's a modern day version of like the attributes that those actors have. Like, he can do serious, he can do funny. He's like charming, but he's also can kind of have that little bit of a tinge of asshole.
Oh, like, yeah. He can play a dick like really well. I've seen him do it and I love it.
This is 40 is officially one of my top 10 movies of the decade. Spoiler alert. Jake, come on.
Yeah.
This is not the This Is 40 podcast.
Yeah.
Is it?
Good.
I haven't seen that in long enough.
Never will be.
Okay. So he's holding the ghost trap. That's the first image you see. The second image seems to be some sort of advertisement. I'm looking at some dude spinning around in a chair. Okay.
It's Finn. It's Finn in the barn.
Jake, I'm going to let you take this one. Finn in the barn.
Yeah, it's Finn in the barn. Like, it's obviously, him opening the door. Maybe you can see the sheet over the car. So obviously this is probably where they see, find the car for the first time. I'm trying to see what's in the article here. Like, I like how, like, something you said to me earlier, Craig, and I've seen multiple people posting about this. I saw Dan Harshman posting about this and a couple people. Something that all these photos have in common is just like whoever, like the art direction or the cinematography, it just all looks great.
Yeah, let's give a shout out. Eric Steelberg is the cinematographer.
Yeah.
And he's he does all of Jason Reitman's movies. So
yeah.
Keep going.
Just has such a different, it has like it just looks real. You know what I mean? Like it looks very much real world kind of stuff. And this picture looks spooky, even though there's nothing really spooky happening. And even though we know that it's just the Ecto-1 under that, like that lighting, it looks almost like to me, it kind of looks like something out of Signs. When they're outside,
see the cornfield and all that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks it looks cool.
It's E.T. It's that like blue light. And
E.T. for
very
sure.
Spielberg.
I didn't want to say E.T. because you've been saying that all day, and I didn't want to like steal your E.T.ness.
Your thing, yeah. I made that my cover photo on Facebook because I think that's my favorite photo of all of them because it's a little bit spooky.
Well, somebody on Mondo Trader, we posted the picture of the poster, and someone said, "Is this a bad robot film?" Like, you definitely get those vibes, like Super 8.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Spielberg-ish, right? It's like,
hopefully. I mean, like that's a big thing to say just based off of 4 photos, but like,
when you have like a family and it's rural and there's supernatural events, those are some things. Yeah,
right. I'm getting a Close Encounters vibe, and also the screenshots they released are these really nice wide angle shots. Like, they're very cinematic, like you said.
Yep.
And I don't know, like I guess we talked about it a lot. Like, we'd anticipated, like, before we get the trailer, we're probably going to get some still photos in an Entertainment Weekly spread.
I did not expect these or this.
This was not what I expected.
I was thinking of like, well, when you think back to Answer the Call, or when you think of like Marvel movies, maybe you'd think of some close-ups of uniforms or gear or the vehicle. But this is like beautiful wide-angle cinematic shots that establish a mood and a feeling rather than giving you everything.
Yeah,
and I like that.
And the one thing, I want to big shout out to the Ghostbusters community. You want to talk about some positivity today?
Yeah,
I haven't seen it like that in a very long time. Like, just you want to say a polar opposite to anything we saw.
Yeah,
in the last movie.
It was really great. I only got blocked by one person today.
Jake, that's pretty good.
dude.
It's pretty good, right? Like on a big
are-
mass Ghostbusters day, like one person's pretty good.
Only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good walk away.
Hey,
so.
Good numbers. Numbers are better this year.
Congratulations.
2016.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good numbers. I like that. All right, let's talk about the.
But yeah, the other thing I was going to point out is, and I heard people saying this, I think Ryan mentioned it, it's exciting to see the poster pop up in your feed, not just from Ghostbusters fans. It's something that the entire world is catching on to and is getting excited about.
Ghostbusters Afterlife was like a number one trend on Twitter. And if you thought today was great, Monday's going to be insane.
Yeah.
So, a couple details I wanted to just cover, if in case you didn't read the article or like you can't read or something, or you're waiting for somebody to read it to you. I just wanted to highlight. So we talked about the Manhattan cross rip. It did say most of the original cast is expected to return, but it did mention Rick Moranis is not expected to be there. But that could be a little,
Who knows?
you never know. Who knows?
Right.
It's interesting. I see some people really banking on like Rick Moranis being a make or break thing for this movie. I would love to see him in there, but if he's not, he's not. Like
if his character doesn't make sense, there's no point in it being
in
there.
him being in there. And also we've gotten so much that's like great news that we don't need that.
I'm kind of honestly surprised that even Janine's going to be back, because to me it's like, how do you fit in that character to this sort of story where the Ghostbusters has been gone for so long?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you need the receptionist to come back for?
Unless she like romantically ended up with somebody or somehow became an integral part.
I'm sure there's a reason for it, but it's like, just trying to think of something feels like a stretch to me. So
hey, at least she's not the hotel desk operator, clerk.
oh,
whatever.
not. Can we talk about this next picture? Because it's my favorite.
Yeah.
let's do that real quick, and then I want to hit some more of these details. Okay, Jake.
Yeah.
Tell me why this next picture means so much to you.
Well, because look at it. It's just really cool to see the Ecto-1 like in the middle of a fucking cornfield chasing tornadoes with a Dorothy on top.
Yeah.
I wish that's what it was. But,
Yeah.
It may as well be.
It just looks cool. Like, so like the other pictures are kind of the stuff I would have expected to see for first looks, like where you don't actually see anything. I'm kind of surprised we got an image of the car just like out and about, and also on the poster that we'll talk about. This is a fun looking, like, obviously this is probably from, there are all those like set leaks where we've seen pictures of the kids in the car. And so is that, can we say that? Whatever.
I assumed this was the driving. Yeah.
We've seen.
Well, it says, here's the thing.
out.
The headline on the article, this is the stuff. So you got to remember the article, Vanity Fair, they did not watch the trailer. Like, they're just being given this information by Sony. It says Finn Wolfhard's Trevor gets the family car running.
Yeah, well, it also says like it calls him a gearhead at some point, and then it also says while her brother tinkers with the car. So like, but based on the pictures we saw on the set, this is just the kids driving the car around. I think like they're like test driving it through a fucking cornfield or wheat field or something, and it's just a really fun image because it's such a big, beautiful shot of the landscape with just the Ecto-1 kind of small in the middle.
Yes.
And that's really cool to me. And something that
hey, no matter what, when this movie hits Blu-ray, the second we can rip it digitally, I'm taking the Twister score and putting it over this scene.
I was about to say,
dude,
I'm putting this out to anyone
100%.
listening. The first person to Photoshop Jonas's black SUVs, like encroaching on the Ecto-1.
Abby, I know you've been at work all day, but there's already
multiple Twister.
There are
oh,
two.
Really?
Yeah.
There are two. I've seen two different Twister photoshops.
Nope, I thought of it. I'm the one who thought of it.
One which I posted on my Instagram. You should go check. I think that's the better of the two.
Tight.
But it's just funny that like we're not the ones who had anything to do with the photoshopping of Twister on the day of the Ghostbusters.
I'll tell you what,
but it's like
subconsciously, let's talk about this.
Did.
This movie was filmed in Calgary, but where does it take place?
Neither of us know.
Oklahoma. Where was Twister filmed?
Where the wind blows.
Where the wind goes flying all the time. Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, they're singing that in Oklahoma is the answer. Okay. It is beautiful, and we'll get to the poster here in a few minutes, but it's another one of these big sweeping wide angle shots.
Isn't that exactly what everyone would want to do when you are near the Ecto one, or just thinking of it being able to do a joyride and find it? Like, that's something that it's exciting.
Was there a caption under the okay, yeah. Strange objects litter the property the family has inherited. So the story is Trevor, Phoebe, which is McKenna Grace's character's name. And Callie, which is Carrie Coon's name. No last name. I have a feeling we're going to know that soon enough. They inherit this property from her father, who she did not have a relationship with.
Yep.
They kind of sort of say her dad was a Ghostbuster. Now, that narrows it down to 8. We can probably get rid of the 4 girls. Sorry. That narrows it down to 4. We can reasonably assume that she's not part of the Zedmore family. You never know, but I'm guessing.
You're right.
You don't think they're Holtzmans?
I don't think they're Holtzmans, baby.
I just imagined her popping out and saying that.
And by the looks of Finn Wolfhard and McKenna Grace in this movie, they look like the spawn of a certain
astute, nerdy, bespectacled.
Yes. What's that thing called on his head?
Thick hair.
It's like a foupont, a dopont. There's a word for it. A bouffant.
Bouffant.
Yeah.
I think a bouffont's like a specific.
I don't know. They could be Spangled. Pompadour.
Okay.
Thank you. Pompadour.
Elvis.
Papados.
Yes. Today's episode is sponsored by Papados.
Seafood.
Okay, so anyways,
it's Egon's family. It's
okay, let's just say it.
Probably
before
Egon's
I tell my
Jason
prom story
Reitman
about going to
basically
Papados.
says that in this article.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
So one thing, obviously the Ecto's in the barn. It says there's all these books in the house, and it kind of talks about how Phoebe finds a PKE meter, and then you've got the picture of Paul Rudd holding the trap. It makes you wonder, he's a summer school teacher. Is Finn Wolfhard, does he find that trap and does he just have it in his bag at school? Like, how awesome is that?
Yeah, probably.
Does it go off in the middle of class and Slimer flies out of it?
No.
It's possible.
But maybe.
How cool would that be?
In the cafeteria?
Yeah.
He's going
No,
to the
it's
cafeteria.
it's summer school. There's no lunch.
Oh, you're
You
right.
got to bring your own snacks.
Dude,
go to
he's
the vending
going
machine.
to the... Damn it, I was about to say he's getting a honey bun. Dude, he's going to go into the vending machine.
Let's talk about this last photo. It's McKenna Grace as Phoebe and Logan Kim as her friend. No name. That's okay. Explore the ruins of an old mine. So it's just another beautiful wide angle shot. It looks like, it's an old mine. There's some gates. You can't really, there's not a whole lot of detail there other than it's a beautiful landscape, and it's not like there's any logos or anything being revealed on those signs, but you kind of see a farmhouse off to the side. And I don't know. I guess we could talk about the fact that McKenna Grace and Logan Kim are looking pretty stylish.
Yeah. I want to hang.
So yeah, can you look closely? Does she have the spectacles on in that photo?
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Cool. So that was the last image revealed. So, and then the article it's kind of, like I said earlier, it kind of feels like it's a setup for this trailer. It's a little bit of backstory to kind of understand where it's coming from. Now, one thing that I was surprised about today is
it's framework for the beginning of the movie for sure. I don't think it's going to.
Yeah, I feel like all the stuff that's covered in here is going to be the first 10 minutes of the movie. But there's no ghosts.
Nope.
And there's no original cast. And I didn't see anybody mention that today. I thought I'd see one person go, man, I really wish we would see a picture of Dan Aykroyd or Bill Murray. I kind of thought, and I was wrong about this, that as a hype move, we would see a still image of the original cast of some sort.
I think it's gonna be at the end of the trailer, and you said that in our last episode.
Like a money shot?
Yeah, it's gonna be the holy fuck, like seeing the Emperor or whatever. That's gonna fuck everybody up.
I'm almost not even sure if that's gonna. So originally, I thought for sure that's what we were gonna see. I thought there was no way we would get a trailer without really hardcore scene. And I think we still will see something, but the fact that there's so much. So we got that picture of the Ecto-1, and the Ecto-1 is like pretty heavy in the, that's what the poster is. It's kind of making me wonder if like that's what they're trying to use to let everybody know this is connected to the original, so they can maybe save the
reveal.
The reveal. Between
so it's like
that and the ghost trap.
I'm getting a lot of like, I don't want to make this comparison because it feels too like, I don't know. I'll just do it.
Do it.
I'm getting Force Awakens vibes.
Yeah, I am too.
I'm getting Force Awakens vibes in the sense that I think
they are modeling the way they're releasing this, and
model that trailer after that second Force Awakens trailer where it's featuring all the new characters with a little bit of familiarity. You see the Ecto, you see some ghosts, and just imagine that last, even if it's not Bill or me, what if it's just Dan Aykroyd? What if it's just Dan Aykroyd getting out of his police car or whatever he drives in this universe?
Oh my god.
We've got a lot
of drives in every universe.
God, if he
Crown Vic?
What if he says, "All right, cadets, turn that thing off."
Yeah, I knew your dad. Oh my god.
It was true, all of it.
No, it's gonna be Ray and Slimer come through the door for the first time, and that's when he says that line, Craig.
Oh my god.
We're home.
Slimer. He says Slimer.
Slimer.
Slimer. We're home.
Oh my god. I am so excited.
So
this is literally what we were asking for.
It's almost like I feel like before we talk about this poster, I feel a combination of like I didn't cry today. I thought I was going to, but I felt like I was in shock. Like I felt like I couldn't even process what I was seeing. And obviously we're trying to share this information. We're trying to get it out there. We're trying to do the YHS social channels.
Yeah.
And then finally, by the way, shout out to Anthony Bresnikan, who writes incredible articles. He's done a lot of the Ghostbusters stuff over the last couple of years. I finally sat down to read the article, which I read it like after posting the images and getting it out there and pushing it like before the poster came out, which was about an hour later. I finally was able to sit down and digest the information. And I kept coming back to that thing where I was like, this doesn't feel real. Like it feels too much like what I would want out of a new Ghostbusters movie.
Yes. I feel like it's very
this
surreal.
Is too good.
It's almost, I'm getting that it's too good to be true vibe. And I mean,
well, it's because you're dreaming. This is a dream.
It feels like a dream. It feels because I want to talk about this poster, but what I was just going to say was like, we've literally been waiting for this moment for 30 years. And how often do you wait for something for 30 years and then now it's coming true? And it also feels like, oh, it's not just going to be like, well, we're finally getting a Ghostbusters 3. It's not going to be like Men in Black International. It's not going to be like Terminator Dark Fate. This is fucking Ghostbusters. This is different.
Yes.
You got to hold on though. That's how I want to feel, but also we haven't seen any footage yet.
Well, but from these pictures, if they
pictures, but also they're just pictures.
If I go to the theater next summer on July 10th and they just put up these 4 pictures, I'll still be like, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I
agree, and I don't have any reason to think that it's gonna be bad either. But also, I'm trying to like. I don't want to like you just said we've been waiting for 30 years. That's hefty. That's a line for that's just asking for disappointment when you say something like that. So it's like trying to like breathe deep and be like, yeah, these do look amazing, but let me just like try to hold it all in until I see this trailer.
Be cool
and
about
I'll be able to make it's like I'll feel much better about
You don't
freaking out.
You want to wait 2 days to text or call them back. Like, just give it some time and kind of relax.
Yeah, but you don't want to ghost them. Sorry.
No.
Okay, before we talk about this poster, I want to just kind of sum up this article, button it up. Abby, what was your overwhelming sense coming out of processing this information for the first time?
I am all about characters, and I love the description of the roles that McKenna Grace and Paul Rudd and Finn Wolfhard and Carrie Coon are going to play in this movie. And that for me was very not just comforting, exciting. My mind just started racing, reading about that, looking at those pictures, just like Jake was saying, looking at the Ecto driving through the cornfield and all that shit. And also the weird Twister mashup shit. Like it all felt, it felt
They're
to me.
making this movie for me.
I had this distinct thought that if I wasn't already a Ghostbusters fan, I would be excited about this movie strictly from Paul Rudd and Finn Wolfhard's attachment, and then with Jason Reitman directing it, and these images, because it just looks like something that's good, and that's something to be excited about.
Doesn't look like Goosebumps, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I'm not seeing any like goofy CGI stuff, or I don't even need to bring up Answer the Call, but we do need to remember that we have been through that and that we should temper our expectations.
I am more than willing to say right now that I was optimistic leading up to Answer the Call, and I was positive, but I will say 100%, I was worried and I was stressed because I knew deep down it wasn't going to be the thing that I thought. Like, I don't really go into fan entitlement too much, and none of us are entitled to anything, but if you're going to bring back a franchise and you're going to do justice to what became before it, you should really get an incredible filmmaker who has a vision. And Paul Feig seems like one of the greatest guys in the world, but what was his vision? Other than, I think the concept is funny, and it would be funny to do it with 4 funny female
That's what
comedians.
I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
there was
it's not
never an
real.
article surrounding Answer the Call that came out with the story points explaining what was going to happen. Like, it's a very...
Well, because we knew the story. Because it was
the
a
same
retelling
one.
of the first one.
Exactly.
Okay. Jake, any other final thoughts on the article itself?
No, I do think there's a little too much in there, like, and I mean, it's nothing like super spoiler or whatever in it. And it's kind of a, I feel two different ways about it. Like, on one hand, it's really exciting to read all that stuff, but on the second hand, it's like some of that, it'd be cooler to just see it.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, everything that's in there is in there on purpose, right? It's not there's nothing in there.
There's nothing. They're not going to put anything in there that's like giving anything away. It's like,
Right.
It's all like, nothing in there is, it's important to the movie. Yeah. But there's nothing that like is going to ruin an experience or give, it's not
Right.
giving too much away. It's
Right.
just, there's just more in there than I thought they would have been putting in
And
there.
listen, there's a hangover from 2016, and they really, there's a lot of, the general movie going public who doesn't keep up with the stuff like we do. They need to inform them that this is different and this is separate from Answer the Call, and this is a continuation of the first 2 movies, and that's what they did by... Sorry, there's cats running around. They're also excited. All right, let's... We're going to wrap up pretty soon. Like I said, this is a quick bonus. Let's talk about this poster. Hour later, the poster drops. The 3 of us are all poster aficionados. We all have expensive prints on the wall. We study movie posters. We're constantly talking about how bad the modern movie poster is. Anything from Marvel and Disney basically looks awful. Abigail, what'd you think?
I'd put it on my wall. I love the color scheme. Obviously putting the Ecto in the foreground, like that's a smart move right there. I know that swirling supernatural cloud does look kind of like Answer the Call stuff a little bit.
But if you go back to the original Ghostbusters poster with the 3 of them,
yeah,
it also looks like that.
Also looks like that.
Like green clouds, that's just kind of, that's part
that
of
might just be my PTSD. I really love this poster. Oh, dude, stop. I love it. I think it's beautiful. I think it's well put together, and I really like the color palette.
It's not what you would normally see from a teaser poster for a major release.
It's not just somebody's face. It's not a close up on a uniform. It's like an actual location. So it's very cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
Cool.
Jake, what do you think?
Simple and easy.
I like that there's not lettering all over it. I like that the only thing it says is summer 2020. Like, that's my favorite part. I think it's just like a nice image. It doesn't need a bunch of other shit on it. It doesn't need a tagline on here. It doesn't need, like, I was honestly like expecting that our poster would just probably be a logo just like the first two. I thought, because they were, trying to keep in step with that stuff, that maybe that's what they would do. But I like this a lot. And it's something like really weird and odd about seeing the Ecto-1 just in a field. Like, you're used to seeing it, zipping down the streets of New York, stealing shots and shit. But like,
yeah,
it just looks good. It looks good. And it also looks very out of place.
Yeah, which brings
in the
home
middle
the
of
whole
the fucking field.
Yeah, it brings home the passage of time between the originals and this, and how it's like it's not where it should be or where you're used to seeing it. So it's a really cool way of reminding you of what place this movie is going to be like chronologically and in the whole timeline.
And it's so believable to me that like these characters, like these kids, there was that whole, the article actually mentioned that whole thing from last week where Billie Eilish didn't know who Van Halen was. Mm-hmm. And I was like, why should a 15-year-old girl know who Van Halen is? You know?
I mean, my question there is, who's Billie Eilish?
I knew you were gonna say that.
That's really funny. She's great. She's who Billie Eilish. She was on SNL. You don't. It's fine.
It's fine. Don't worry.
Hey, you know what? Real talk. I think Jake would really like Billie Eilish.
You probably would.
She's like goth pop. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's no like these kids don't know about the Manhattan Cross Rip, and they don't know about the Statue of Liberty, and they don't care because they're kids in the middle of Oklahoma who probably have a sad mom because she doesn't know her own family. Mm-hmm. Like,
and they're young. Like they're young. Like how old are they?
They're like 12 and 15.
We weren't alive when the first Ghostbusters came out. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like we so it's like, yeah, it doesn't. The fact that it happened and went away and it's just not something people talk about anymore doesn't seem like that far-fetched.
No. Yeah, especially if there hasn't been any other, spectral or ghost events or
nothing
major
big
cross
enough.
rips.
Yeah, like nothing big enough to matter.
Exactly. And so that it makes sense and it's believable and it's a small town. You don't have to deal with the backdrop of New York City where like everybody would remember it and like
which Ghostbusters 2 kind of went up against and that kind of had that feeling of like, so why everyone just forgot? Yeah.
Yeah. One thing people have been mentioning today is there is no reference to the events of Ghostbusters 2 in any of these articles, and I want to just kind of assure people, like, they're not retconning. Like, in this world, Ghostbusters 2 happened. The events happened. There would be no reason to try. Like, they might not come out and outright, like, say...
Well, because there's no reason
There's no reason to. Like,
unless there's specifically something in the plot of this movie that specifically needs to reference something from part 2, why does it need to reference? Like, there's no point. There's just no point. But like, just because they don't come out and say... The uniform still got the number 2 ghost on it. That doesn't mean anything.
Like, I could see us maybe seeing a slime blower at some point. Maybe it would not be that far-fetched for them to, like, mention Vigo in passing. Like, just some sort of throwaway thing.
I hope the Vigo painting is just also in the barn.
Yeah.
That would be,
Like, kind of like in the video game, it's just sitting there.
How funny would that be?
That would be so funny. It's just sitting in the barn.
Like, Finn Wolfhard's like, that guy is like, You guys were scared of this guy? Look how stupid he looks. So yeah, I think I wouldn't worry about that so much. And also it's just not that important. Like, when people talk about what's canon and what's not, like people are like, the video game needs to be canon. Sure, let it be canon. Fine, but it doesn't need there doesn't need to be a prologue. There doesn't need to be a scroll like the beginning of Star Wars where it says Ghostbusters Afterlife. After the events of Ghostbusters, the video game, where all of that still counts. Like, you don't need that. You'll be fine. And also, if they come out tomorrow and say the Ghostbusters video game's no longer canon, that would also be okay. Like, it would be fine.
Who cares?
By the way,
I can't get past any of the initial levels anyway, so I'm fine.
We don't even know what happened.
Know what happened.
But it's okay. Like, I have a feeling we're in the minority because that people hold that game,
love that game
so near and dear.
But
hey,
I mean, I love that game too, but also it's a video game and it doesn't matter it just doesn't matter to
it's a different time. We're in a different time.
Universe.
Yeah. We're in a different time. 5 years ago when Jason Reitman wrote this script, I mean, last year, whenever he wrote it.
Oh.
So All right, final thoughts. We're almost at 40 minutes, and like I said, I want to let everybody know Monday night, 9:00, YouTube and Facebook Live. Join Yes Have Some. It's going to be, I don't even know what it's going to be.
It's going to be a party.
It's going to be are we going to even be able to get words out?
I can't wait.
How many times, prediction, Jake, how many times are you going to watch this trailer on Monday?
That's all I'm gonna do on Monday.
Same. I'm gonna keep a tally.
I don't work on Monday. I'm off on
Me
Monday. I'm just gonna
too.
do straight up chill.
Chills.
Yeah.
Straight up chills. Jake, why don't you come up here? We'll watch together.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'll just drive 3 hours and then drive back 3 hours.
It's
after
not an
12
easy
o'clock,
drive. You're
so I
right.
can go to work in the morning.
You know,
Listen,
Jake,
I don't
that drive sucks.
I should say this. There's no official time release. My guess is the morning. They're going to get this stuff like next week is Ghostbusters week.
I hope so. Usually trailers drop pretty early. I would be so annoyed if I knew it was coming on Monday, but then just had to wait all day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
God.
I'm already annoyed that I have to wait Saturday and Sunday. Both of those nights are going to feel like Christmas Eve, and I'm excited about
Today
it.
felt like, I don't know, Thanksgiving maybe? Like a pretty good holiday, but you
Easter?
know the big one's coming.
Okay.
I don't know, whatever that is.
Halloween.
It's just an elongated Christmas Eve. We're edging Christmas Eve. I wish I didn't say that, but that's okay. We're still Yes Have Some. We're not going to not be Yes Have Some podcast. All right, final thoughts. Here we go. Jake, go for it.
Final thoughts. Everything's looking good to me. Like, I like these pictures. I like this poster. I like Paul Rudd. I like Ghost Traps. I like Ecto's fucking just driving through fucking cornfields or whatever. I like everything we've seen. I'm excited for a trailer. And I just want it now.
Yeah.
I want it
I
now.
want it all, and I want it now.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd keeps lifting me higher.
There you go.
I am really excited about this movie, and these images have just surpassed anything that I could have imagined.
I didn't do my trailer watch. I'll put it at the end of the
I thought we were going to do a new song.
But this is still officially. I'm waiting.
Trailer's
on the
not
trailer.
out yet.
Oh, you're right. Okay, so we have 2 days.
Okay.
Get to work. Cool. I'm thrilled. I'm excited about the cast. I'm excited about the trailer coming out Monday. I love the color scheme of the poster. I love seeing it on social media. And I reposted it on my Instagram, and I'm just it's like it's surreal. We've been through having a new Ghostbusters movie, but not like this. So,
by the way, I
sort of at a
love
loss.
Carrie Coon.
Mm-hmm.
She's awesome. I follow her on Twitter, and she's I really like her.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
Gone Girls. No, but there's
Cool.
more to this story. Gone Girls, one of my favorite movies. She's in that. But she's kind of spunky and does her own thing, and all of the Ghostbusters accounts, including Yes Have Some today, right at 1:00, posted the poster and with the copy from Sony, which was Ghostbusters coming summer 2020 trailer Monday, and every account posted the exact same way, and she just posted, "Call me." I was like, dang. Carrie Coon is marching to the beat of her own drum. And I like it.
Hey, so is Dan Aykroyd posting it 9:00 at night, basically.
Yeah, 10 hours late. I think those Herkimer diamonds are going to his head.
Wait, maybe he knows.
Yeah, they just told Dan that the movie's coming out. Dan's like,
I wish with the poster his tagline was something like, "See, told you," or I told you part 3 was coming
in spring. We're gonna move fast on this one.
Been telling you for.
What if he posted the poster and it was coming summer 2020? Also, I love my Lady Ghostbusters. Well, we had costs got out of hand, and I love that. Got a call from Danny's office, and they told us we're gonna move fast on this. I'm pumped up. I don't even know what to do. Okay, cool. I guess that's my final thought. We will see everybody Monday night, 9:00.
Yep.
Thank you for checking out this little impromptu sesh.
Yeah.
Hopefully, you stay with us on this journey all the way through the movie and beyond, follow us on Yes Have Some Podcasts, Instagram and Twitter at YHS Podcast. Yes Have Some Podcasts, official site, yhspodcast.com. You can find us all over the place. And we also have the official hub for Yes Have Some, which is the Facebook group, Yes Have Some Group Therapy. Abby, let them know how they can get there.
Super easy. Log into Facebook, search for Yes Have Some Podcast Group Therapy. You will find it quickly. It is a closed group, so ask to join it. Neither myself, Jake, or Craig will accept you. And you can post your thoughts on the Ghostbusters trailer on Monday when it comes out, and the poster if you want to get in the group tonight and talk about it. It's there for you. We love you guys, and thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Craig.
And it's good. It's good to be a Ghostbusters fan right now. It's a positive thing. We're going to keep it positive. No grumpiness. I mean, there might be some along the way, but
you can have one person block you.
You can only have one person block you.
Like a day or just like
just ever.
Have I already hit my like stride or like what's up?
Your quota.
Yeah.
Quota, yeah.
I just don't understand, like, out of all the stuff that was revealed today, how is your one takeaway going to be like the composite imaging of the photo? It's like, dude, just calm down. God, if your life goal is to,
I hope that's not final.
Hope it's not final. I hope it is final, and I hope it looks worse. God.
I hope it's an Ecto-1 cut out of fucking cardboard hopping along a fucking popsicle stick across a goddamn screen.
I hope it's a little kid's hand holding a broken Kenner Ecto-1 going.
I hope it's that fucking baby dressed up as Stay Puft that you saw everywhere.
Oh, that meme that goes around every year?
Yes.
I bet that baby's 20 years old now.
Yeah, the baby's like, whoa.
And like once every
well, like little known fact, that baby, that's Zach Myers.
Now it makes sense.
There it is.
Release the Myers cut.
Yep. Yes. I don't think I have anything else to say other than I love that we have this outlet, and I love all of our listeners and our friends and community. And it's
going to be an emotional ride.
It's going to be big. It's going to be the atomic way to cobalt. And I'm a Ghostbusters fan, so I know that is 58.9. What is it?
I hope that Slimer is the goddamn spirit Slimer hanging from a string dangled by a boom mic. That's how bad I want it to be.
Dude, I hope they're all wearing the Spirit Halloween jackets.
58.9.
I hope those packs are on upside down.
I hope they're wearing inflatable packs from Ruby's.
I hope they have the hats. The girls have skirts on. Oh my God.
God, we're into it right now.
Yeah,
aren't we?
we're doing it.
I hope that those Ecto goggles are made by Mattel.
I hope there's fucking joints in the middle of everybody's chests.
I hope there's one spectral terror dog, not two, but one.
Just one.
We're just venting now about Ghostbusters.
All right.
Hey, Jake, you want to leave us with a little Macho Man?
You just put me on the spot with a Macho Man?
Yeah.
Oh, God. No, I can't do it. I can't do an unprepared Macho Man. You know what? Listen.
Sometimes you got to tell people ahead of time.
Yeah, I can't do an unprepared Macho Man, but I will do a Macho Man on next week's episode.
Ooh, okay. And I'll do one too.
Okay. I'm going to do one right now. All right. I can't, guys.
Pretty good.
All right. What was that?
Macho Man?
That was Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah.
Macho Man Richard Dreyfuss.
Actually, it sounded like Dan Aykroyd when he's scooping the slime in GB2, and he's like, all right.
Oh my God, I love Dan Aykroyd.
Oh, boys.
Oh, boys. No.
All right, everybody. We're having fun. Thank you for joining us on a Friday night. We will see you Monday. Enjoy your weekend. Gotta see that trailer.
Gonna see that trailer. Gonna see that trailer.
Trailer.